Good morning, everybody. I have another special guest here. You've seen him here before. Great guest. He goes by the name of Kevin Haynes. Kevin Haynes, welcome.
Hello, good evening, everybody. How everybody doing? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there,
And it's
man.
an honor.
Huh?
And it's an honor to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Absolutely. Me as well. I wanted to basically go over this Duante Wright case. This Duante Wright, and I want to focus on the judge in this case. The judge's name is Judge Regina Chu. I'm sure everybody could look her up. I wanted to get your perspective on how she came to the conclusion when she rendered the verdict in the sentencing of Miss Potter. Obviously, everybody knows Miss Potter was a cop on the case, and she was the one who shot Duante Wright. Basically, what was your observation regarding the rendering of her judgment?
It was like I see how I pause. It's really I'm really baffled and speechless. But you have to get to the root of it. The root of it is when you get to like 19 George Bush Senior. When he started making the prosecutors more prosecutor judges, because he was saying that they knew the law and this, that, and other thing. That was on the federal level, but it also trickled down to the state, because what happens in the feds trickled down to the states. So this judge, prosecutor. A lot of these judges is ex-prosecutors who was friends, state prosecutors, who was friends, or as they say, district attorneys, who was friends with these very same officers, or more inclined and friendly towards the police force. So therefore, when something like this now happens, what you're dealing with is still law enforcement / district attorney in a black robe. So what you get is the decision that you get. Oh, my mindset is she really didn't mean it. I know this because I'm used to working hand to hand with the police department. And we all know how corrupt they are. So a lot of it, the whole demonstration is, to me, as far as I'm concerned, is corrupt. This is why, not to change the topic, Sonia Sotomayor made a comment about the Supreme Court, and she said she hoped that the president would appoint more defense attorneys or more judges that's now judges or whatever that used to be defense attorneys on the bench, because everybody has this prosecutorial way of looking at things, except John Roberts, and now this new lady that he just put up for a nomination. She was actually a defense attorney, a public defender, so she know both sides of the spectrum. But usually, what you're dealing with, like this judge in this case, she's constantly used to dealing with one side of the spectrum, and that side of the spectrum is law enforcement.
Right.
There's no.
Right. Absolutely. I wanted to get, because when she rendered this sentence, when she sentenced this lady, she actually went through her state of mind as to why she was doing this. I mean, when you see, I encourage everybody to look at the video. She is going off of handwritten notes that she had put down so she could render the sentencing of this case. And to me, she was somebody in a judge robe that was publicly defending this lady outside of the courtroom for the people that was watching. Judge Regina Chu, reading the Minnesota Sentence Guideline, this is what she said.
Sentencing guidelines are just that. They are guidelines that inform a judge regarding sentencing for various crimes. They are not set in stone. The court has the discretion to depart from guidelines depending on the particular facts of a case. A downward durational departure is justified if a crime is less onerous than typical. Put another way, if the conduct is significantly less serious than that typically involved in the commission of the crime, sentencing below the guidelines is justified. I find the facts and circumstances here justify a downward departure from the guidelines. First, Officer Potter's conduct was significantly less serious than your typical manslaughter case.
Now, okay, you can say, right? You can say that a judge has discretion. We all know that a judge has discretion. But what struck me also is that she went further down in discretion. She gave the woman 2 years for shooting an innocent black man. Now, and she went on to say, quote, Officer Potter's conduct was significantly less serious than the typical crime involved in this case. And the word stood out to me, serious, right? It stood out to me like this is less serious. And I thought to myself, what kind of judge? That was like a insult to the family. What do you think?
Yeah, but no. But that goes hand in hand with everything I just previously said. You see, yeah, because she's a DA. The DA is used to dealing with the police. So therefore, she has more compassion for the police than this dead man, than this man that this police have killed. That's been on videotape. The guy had no weapon, no gun, no nothing. Now, if you think that's some, just all you have to do is reverse the role play. Let's say this guy had never had a felony, never been in trouble in his life, body, yada, yada, and boom, 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 boom. She'd have put his lights out. Why? Because he's not a police.
Absolutely.
And because she's retired, or she's no longer a district attorney, but she's still a district attorney in a black role.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing she said also, and I quote, and she had the nerve to quote Barack Obama in the courtroom. Regina Chu said, "For these that disagree and feel a longer prison sentence is appropriate, as difficult as it may be, please try to empathize with Mrs. Potter's situation. As President Barack Obama once said, learning to stand in somebody else's shoes to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins, and it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that could change the world."
To those who disagree and feel a longer prison sentence is appropriate, as difficult as it may be, please try to empathize with Ms. Potter's situation. As President Barack Obama once said, learning to stand in somebody else's shoes, to see through their eyes, that's how peace begins. And it's up to you to make that happen. Empathy is a quality of character that can change the world. Officer Kimberly Potter was trying to do the right thing. Of all the jobs in public service, police officers have the most difficult one.
That's tantamount to being a big bitch slap in the face of every black, Hispanic, and person of color, to quote Barack Obama regarding that situation, and saying, well, I'm a quote Obama regarding this situation, and therefore all you blacks supposed to, and Hispanics and browns and black and people of color supposed to fall in line and feel sorry for this woman for deliberately killing this man. And you see, it wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't. When you get into a history, she has a history of watching the cops do stuff to the guys and then covering it up. Just like they had an incident where something happened to the officer, and she said, "Hold it, everybody, shut your body cameras off." They're like, "Huh? Shut the because they going to put a lick down, and she don't want it to be put out there." And they question her about it. So she has a history of this type of malfeasance, funk, and disregard for the law. So I mean, when you get just off into that alone, and now she done killed it, you've been on the years all that long, and you don't know the difference between a handgun and a damn taser. Stop it, woman.
I remember coming across and I read what the judge said, and she started crying, the judge, when she was talking this rendering this sentence, because I feel, and remember, everybody out there, remember that this lady had prepared a statement, and it goes to show me it was something deeper about about minorities that get into influential positions, and
But she had to
sometimes.
cry.
Yeah, and sometimes, and
Oh
sometimes,
no, she had to cry.
and sometimes our folks will hold water for white supremacy. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, there are people that are minorities, black folks, Spanish folks, Asian people, that are holding water in their jobs to make white people and white women, white men feel better about the supremacy that they are unleashing on other people. Some white people, somewhat.
Well, yeah, but you see another thing. See, the judge had to break down the tears, and she had to cry, because when you're selling something that's so bad, when you're selling something, it's like when you go to a car lot and they sell you a lemon. I mean, they can have Rolls Royces on there, but they're gonna tell you right now that that's the best car on the lot. I mean, they're selling you a lemon. It's just like anything. She had to sell that. She really had to sell it. So she had to put on the 3 actions. She had to cut on the waterworks. I mean, batter the hatches. I mean, raise the sails. Well, we going all in with this one, you know. So she had to cry. And you always gonna have, see. So let me tell you, that's where history coming at, and that's why I enjoy your show, because it's definitely enlightenment. Because a lot of people aren't aware. A lot of people don't watch a half an hour of the world news every day. They're so caught up in a rat race and try in their 9 to 5, and you can't really blame them too much, and stuff like that. They don't know their civic duties, civic obligations. A lot of people just don't know, and they don't know their history. But those people know our history, and they know their own history. And this is why you feel that way. This is why we feel that way. Naturally, most people of color, I'm sorry to say, are some of the most empathetic and compassionate people in the world. And they know it. And they play on it. But if you knew your history, you wouldn't let them use you like that. I ain't saying you shouldn't feel sorry for a white person or any other person other than your race. I'm saying, yeah, because we all are really a part of one race, and that's the human race. But on the flip side of that, if you know your history, you wouldn't be able to be used like that.
Absolutely. And also there's something to be said about, again, about some minorities who have their mind programmed. You know, they've been touched in a way to wherein that they always have to reinforce the notion that I'm doing my job, and my job is to do what the structure and this racist system without saying it's racist, but they feel like they will be in better favor if they carry out some of this nonsense.
Again, that goes back to a lot of them don't know who they are, and then like even the ones that do, they're just in it for themselves. I mean, no one look at Colin Kaepernick. He still can play football and possibly could be one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived if they was to ever let him play again, but they're not. He sacrificed something, and it cost him his career. Look at Jim Brown and even some Richard Pryor and them when they was marching with Martin Luther King, Sammy Davis Jr. and so many others came out. They had all them blacklists and blackballs, so they had to have the Black Hollywood part. They really didn't want them making movies or doing nothing. All right, but they sacrificed. Look at Dr. Martin Luther King. He got killed. He sacrificed. Malcolm X, he got killed. He sacrificed. But everybody, one thing I notice about our people these days, they have a very myopic vision. Fast car, fast food, fast lady, fast, everything fast. If they can't see an instant gratification from something that they do or something that they're working towards, then they give up on it. They don't see the end goal, the long game, or the end goal that's going to come from this. They're not into sacrificing nothing for this. And this is the reason why we lag behind in everything, because we don't see the end game. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. It's just like the $1 bill. Everybody says the all seeing eye. And I never forget, I asked one guy about it, and he told me it's not the all seeing eye. I said, so why you got one eye? He said, you have two eyes and you got one vision. And them people, when they did this country, they had one vision to establish a certain order, which we know as the New World Order. And they acting out towards that vision. From president to president, from the next Congress to the next Congress, to the next Senate, to the next Senate, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. And this is how we have to begin to move. This is the type of insight we have to begin to have, a vision, that one vision, and set our sights on it, lock our kids in on it, the same way. Just like the Jews of the Holocaust. Look at the Jews of the Holocaust. They said never again. And damn it, they meant it. Look how rich and powerful they are. From being and thrown in the gas chamber. Look at their descendants. And they descendants from that. Because they didn't have a myopic vision. Now, granted, I know the struggles for us is a whole lot harder because we didn't have the opportunity and we ain't wearing the right colors. We was born the color we are. But mentally, we can get there and strive.
Absolutely. It's when holding your fist up is more than holding your fist up. I want to thank you for being here. Once again, enlightening words. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure being here. And you have a good day.
Absolutely.